Well, looks like I got a good one for y'all today. Today we're going to look at Mallory Comp 9000 distributor. These are a Unilite distributor. This one comes from a good friend of mine. I've been racing with this guy for 30 or 40 years. Him and his family are very good people. We've known each other for many years. He calls me up yesterday and he says, "Hey, my car doesn't have spark and I can't figure it out." Well, it's 100 degrees, so it's always nice to have a friend helping you, because the least amount of time you can spend in the sun trying to figure this out, the better. So we had this thing in the car and there was no spark, so we thought, well, that's easy, that's just a module. These go out all the time, right? So we snagged another module, and I'm going to talk about these in just a second. We popped that baby in. We thought we had it figured out. We put it in, it still didn't start. So instead of playing with that thing outside, 100 degrees sunshine, I thought, well, let's pull the distributor out. That's going to eliminate any wiring issues we might have with the car. The coil tested good. Matter of fact, he was running the same coil I got here, a Mallory 29440. Now all this stuff right here is Mallory coil and these Mallory distributors. That's all 1980s technology. Well, that's about when these were popular anyway. And this is still running strong. Well, except now I guess there's no spark. So what we're going to do today, again, by just using this machine, we're going to eliminate any wiring issues or anything else going on with the car. If this doesn't work here, we know we have bad modules. We tried doing you can look up a test on how to test these modules and stuff. Just the test results were being weird, and it was hot anyway. I thought, you know what, let's put it on the machine. If we get it to work here, we know there's something else with the car. We'll look at that later. So a little bit about these modules. These aren't like a standard GM HEI module, which here's these right here. It's a standard 4-pin module from GM. And this one, see, this has little photo-optic sensors in there. I don't know if this is focusing or not, but that's a photo-optic cell in there, and they work with these rotors. It's like a shutter system. So as this rotor goes in here, see if we can show that. As this goes in here, while that photo cell is blocked, it's charging the coil, and as soon as you get the little slot, it fires the spark. It charges the coil, it fires, charges coil, and it fires. So it only fires during these little slots when the light beams actually make contact with each other. So that's how these things work. And these are very controversial. A lot of guys say these are the worst module ever invented, and other guys run them for 20 or 30 years. So I think a lot of problem with these was probably user error. Obviously you have to have the dielectric compound underneath like any other module. That's one thing you got to do. A couple other problems these things have: you have to make sure it's got a good ground. That's something that's a very common issue. These things will blow. It's because of a bad ground, or it depends on how you have these things wired. If you have this wired without a CD box, without an aftermarket ignition box, let's say you're just running it with your distributor and your coil over there, you have to have a ballast resistor wired on this wire right here. So you run 12 volts in, and these things should run about 8 or 9 volts. So that's what the ballast resistor does. It cuts down the voltage. Too much voltage, it's going to fry these things big time, and they don't like that. I don't have a ballast resistor. I'm sure I probably do actually have one around here somewhere. I can't find it. But if you wire these with a CD box, any aftermarket ignition box, then you can run it without a ballast resistor, because it runs through the actual box itself. So I'm going to run this through an MSD 7AL, and I actually pulled up the wiring diagram here just to verify. And it does show that I can just wire this right directly into my box without a ballast, and we're going to be just fine. And if you do run it, well, if you run it, let me start over. If you don't run it with the ignition box and you just run it with the coil, then yeah, you have to run a ballast resistor. So pretty straightforward. But I just wanted to verify if I was going to be okay to wire this thing without a ballast. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be just fine. Something you probably noticed laying here is this is an old school Mallory degree key. So we're going to go over that after I figure out if one or both these modules are good or bad. And we're going to do some testing. Now again, this distributor, this is old school. Let me move these papers out of the way. Ooh. So this is kind of weird. Oh, shoot, I don't know where I can show that. Look at this distributor, how that is offset. Do you see how that is offset right there? I don't know if this actually shows it very well, but it's almost like an eccentric distributor shaft, because as you turn it one way, it's going to move the gear closer into the cam and further away from the cam. Well, let me just throw that on the ground. Boy, good thing I caught that. Yeah, I'm probably not going to edit that out. It's whatever. Let's see if I can show that again. See how that part of the distributor it's not centered. So I don't know if that was standard, because quite honestly, I used to run Mallory stuff many years ago, but I don't have any other Mallory distributors around here. I know I got the guy that I got this from has another Mallory, so I'm gonna look at that and see if his is the same way, but that's just really weird. So if you put this in your engine, I guess if the gears are meshing too deep, you can just turn the body 180 and they won't mesh as deep. Or if you need it to mesh deeper, you turn it 180 and it'll mesh deeper. So I guess if you put it in, you have to have your timing pretty close so you can just barely move it. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of weird. So yeah, let's do some testing here. So we got one module in here. I just sat it in there. And we're going to wire this thing up. So let me hook this camera up so I can use two hands, and we'll get this thing wired up and test it out and see if it fires. Hang tight. Okay, well, let's see if I got this in here right. Yep. Alright, let's drop this thing in here and see what we got. Man, with that offset, it doesn't go in very easy. So, and it's not going to seat all the way down for some reason. I'm not going to force it, but it's going to do what we need it to do. So we have 3 wires. Let me see if you're in frame, because I can't see that. Okay. So the red wire is going to go on the ignition box. Is going to go to the ignition, or the 7AL is going to go to the ignition. The green wire goes to, let me see what that says, PT. So the points, that's the trigger wire. And then this is going to be the ground. So I already put some wires on here. Well, let's skip steps. Let's put the rotor on there. Again, like a Hall effect. Let's get the rotor on there. Man, this thing has a lot of. Wow, that's a lot. We're gonna fix that. Oh, we gotta put this thing on first. So this right here is for the cap to sit on, and this cap fits this distributor pretty tight. Drop a couple screws down there. This cap fits this thing so tight. We had a heck of a time getting it off. Just to test stuff out. I put a little grease around here, just to help things out. So I don't need to screw this down because it's not going anywhere, but I'm going to anyway. Before I get too carried away, I don't know if that's going to show where these wires are going to go. So let me take this. Let me show you where these wires are going to go. So down on the CD box, you'll see the red wire right here where it says IG. Then this white wire where it says PT. That's for points. That's the trigger wire. So red to red, that green we're going to go to this white. Then the black we're going to ground. So I need 2 hands for that, but that's basically how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to shove the wires in and we'll make it work. Red to red. And I'm just using a female blade connector, and these have I just de-pinned these out of the little connector. I'm just sliding these into one of the ends right here, just where it fits snug. That's all we need. This ground wire, it's going to ground it right there. Ooh, on the sheet, use that. Okay, coil wire. All right, let me put the battery up. So my whole system here just works off a 12 volt car battery. So, okay, well, let's see if we get some sparkle out of this thing. Like I say, in the car, we got El Zilcho. Ah, look at that. We have spark. Okay, cool. Okay, well, that's what we needed to see. So that tells me we most likely have a wiring problem with the car. But let's test the other module just for the heck of it. While we're this far, don't do that. I forgot to turn the power off over here. That's just what I want to do, is short out my 7AL. Would not be good. We'll pop the cap off. I'm going to change that module real quick. I don't know how real quick it's going to be, but yeah, these are really popular back in the 80s, and it depends on whoever you talk to. Some people tell you these modules are the biggest piece of crap ever invented, and some people have never had a problem with them. So again, I think a lot of times it's just user error. I told you, this thing is tight. A lot of things can make these go bad, but typically it's just a bad ground, or someone's not using a ballast resistor when they should be. So this base right here is just to have a place for the cap to mount. And it just comes right off. Swap this module out without losing these screws. Yeah, so just seeing this alone just tells me that I know we have another problem with the car. I'll bring my coil over when I go back over to his house, and we'll see if maybe he has a bad coil. So here's the other module. This has these ends on it, so we'll see how we can make those fit. Pretty warm in here today. I had the fan on, but I have to turn it off when I do videos because it's kind of noisy. The fan's not really noisy, but for some reason it picks up on the video. Same thing in the winter time. I gotta turn my heater off when I do a video because just that little background noise. So kind of annoying. Shove these through the hole. I'm not gonna put anything there. Pop this back on. And this kind of only goes on one way. There's two slots right here to go right here and right there, so you can't really mess that up. They can go in either way, 180 degrees. Alright, where were we? My phone overheated, so it stopped recording at some point. So I got this part put back on. These wires are plugged in already. So let's get this rotor on there. And the cap, we'll see how far we get for the phone overheats again. It says pretty warm today. I was up in Boise, Idaho at Firebird Raceway over the weekend. Racing, it was 106 degrees Saturday. Holy cow. It's kind of warm. I told you this cap is tight. Come on, baby. Cooperate with me. There we go, it's going now. It's not quite lined up, but probably get it on. I probably won't be able to get it back off. I'll tell you what, stuff nowadays doesn't fit this good. Actually, I don't think these ever really fit this good. It's just old. Alright, I think that'll work. That should work for our purposes. Alright, let's see if this module's any good. Plug the battery back in. And put y'all down here where you can see. Here goes. Nothing. Uh-oh. Hang on, that distributor is not... I can't get the distributor in all the way. It's kind of binding up. Or maybe the rotor's binding up. Oh my gosh. Well, clearly we're having an interference issue here. This cap is tight going on and coming off, so maybe the rotor's not sitting all the way down. Oh man, tight. Oh, that's great. Oh boy. Well, we don't want to see that, but still, this thing should. Okay, well, let's turn it. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that was it. Let's try that again. There we go. Cow, that's tight. And I'm actually doing a no-no. I'm not using any protective ends on my wires. They're just bare wires shoved in, and that's not good. I need to pay closer attention so I don't melt my stuff. I'm gonna be a little more careful here, guys. Okay, there's that. Let's try the scary one again. I'll just reroute this wire real quick. Alright, this should show me what I need it to see, what I need it to show. So that one more time. Here's a rule of life. I'm not going to edit this stuff out, so. Alright, let's see what we got. And this one's got spark as well. So know that both modules are good. So, that answered that. I'm going to hurry and disconnect the battery before I have any more issues. So I kind of showed you kind of what not to do also, I guess. I don't know. So like I said, that saved us a lot of time out in the 100 degrees sun, although it's 200 degrees in here, but I don't have the sun beating down on me. But trying to work on that car. And then of course you got a race car, and it has, his is running this distributor. There's a Mallory coil, and then he also has an ignition box under the dash. So I'll bring my coil with me next time I go, just to rule out his coil being bad. It tested good, but still I'll bring another coil just in case. That's a quick swap. And if his ignition box is bad, which I looked under the dash, I don't remember what he had in there, but if that's bad, then we'll just bypass that, and hopefully he has a ballast resistor, or maybe I can find one of mine, and we'll wire it up without that box. An ignition box is neat and all, but you don't need to have it. So what I do want to show you now though is why we have a degree key and why it's kind of important to have. I don't think these Mallory degree keys are available anymore. Maybe they are. We disconnected. Well, you know what? Let's take this module out real quick. That way he can pick whichever one he wants for it. Trying to go a little faster before my phone overheats again. Okay, that's out. I'm telling you, this distributor, holy cow. So it's almost like that's an eccentric, like a fuel pump lobe on your camshaft, but kind of weird. All right, let me see if I can. I'm gonna adjust this so we can be in frame over here. So give me a second, guys. All right, let's see how this works. I'm gonna zoom in and see if that's any better. That might be too close. Let's try it. Because I just can't see what I'm recording when I'm sitting down here. So I'll check it. So like I said, we got this degree key right here, and it's labeled. It's dark. I can't see. It says 16, 18. There's steps right here. That's 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So I talked to a guy many years ago when I was playing with these back in the late 80s, and he ran a dyno shop. And he said the best thing to do for my street strip car was key this at 24. So set your total time to 35 or 36 degrees and run it. So if you key this at 24, that's 24 degrees. If you try to set your initial time, and you'll set it at, we'll just work with even numbers. If we set it at 12 degrees, 12 and 24 is 36. That'll give you 36 total. I found out with these that the springs inside here are so light that it's hard to check your initial timing because it comes in, the advance comes in too fast. So just set your total timing, call it a day. Your initial is going to be where it's going to be. So for a street strip car with a mild cam, if you have a Mallory distributor, key it at 24. And I'll get my calipers out and see if I can get a rough measurement on that. If you have a more radical cam and you're running one of these, just like the MSD bushings, I'd probably start at 18. Then you'd have your initial timing at 18. 18 is 36. So let me grab my caliper real quick. It's right over here. I'm getting it. Probably digital calipers will work better for what we got here, but I don't have a digital caliper. So that is 462.462. So roughly, if you want to make your own measurement thing, 462, 463, something like that, that'll put you about 24 degrees. So let's see where we are here. So I'm going to assume you're still in frame. So to do this, we're going to take off this mounting plate right here. And that's a couple of Allen wrench deals. Let me see if you're in frame. Good. Trying to go for my camera overheats again because it is pretty warm. I did turn the fan on this time, so I might get a little further. I don't think it matters which way this plate goes in, but we will take note. The module goes over here, the hole's over here. Okay, cool. And this is where we have the, this is where you're gonna use your degree key. So we gotta take this part off. To get this part off, we just need to take these springs off. But if we hold that, you'll see the advance. Oh, am I in frame? Sorry guys, I can't see. That's how the thing works. So we want to take these springs right here off so we can pull this plate out. So let's get this off. I'll try to do this so we can all see. I hope the spring don't pop out and pop y'all in the eye. Oh man. There's one spring. And then this spring. Sorry, I know y'all can't see, but the spring's on there pretty dang good. I know it comes off of there. Let's see if y'all are still in frame. You are. Okay, good. Oh, here we go. It's trying to come off. I don't think that spring's been off for a long time. And it looks like there's a little E-clip right here. Some people call it a C-clip, but it's shaped like an E, so we want to take that off. And I see a little washer there. Let's take that off. And we'll take note of how this is on here. There's still an E-clip here. It goes to this side, so we'll take note of that, a mental note. Okay, there's one of the advanced weights there. There's the other advanced weight there. So if you try to put this on wrong, it's going to put the advanced weights on top of each other, so you really can't put it on wrong. I guess you could if you tried real hard. So let's use our E key, or our key, Mallory key, and see where we are. And as you can see, that has a whole bunch of advance in there. That's completely wrong. We're going to close that up to 24. Where's my 24 slot? Right there. I'll probably do it this way so we can see. So you guys can see. So there's the 24 slot right there. You can see all the play we have in here. Ding, ding, ding. This thing just wobbles around. Let's loosen this up. As I poke a hole in my hand with my screwdriver. Holy crap. Let me get a bigger screwdriver. I know things are going so smooth. Y'all are probably wondering that, man, I did all this beforehand. That's why it's going so smooth. No, I don't really do anything beforehand. I'm just going to wing it. I mean, we all do this same stuff in the garage every day. There's no point in reshooting stuff to get it perfect. We're just going to do it. We're going to roll with it. So the way this works, we loosen this little screw there. That's still a tad tight. I'm trying to look to see if I'm in frame while I'm doing this, so I should turn around. So anyway, and I know you can't see this, but there's a little 24. It was there for a second. I have a little mark right there anyway. So that's 24. I'm going to key this to 24. I don't think this is the distributor he's using, but still, I'm going to adjust this. Oh man, does it not adjust? Are you kidding me? Huh. Well, maybe that doesn't adjust. You got to bend this? Maybe we got to bend it. Well, that'd be weird. I could have swore back in the day that slid out, but maybe not. Maybe we got to bend it. It's pretty stiff. Put the degree key back in. It's still going all the way. Let me put this bigger screwdriver in there. We're just going to bend it some more. Maybe there's another way to do this. I don't know. It's been too many years. Alright, let's see what that does. 24 degree. I can't see that number, so I know y'all can't see it. Dang, this is like just backwards here. So I'm going to this step here. I probably should paint that white so that I can see and y'all can see. Oh, that's pretty close. I'm going to tighten that up just another smidgen. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go another smidgen. That's the scientific measurement. Okay, that might be too far. Let's see what we got here. Yep, that's too far. I wonder if I can push it in with this. Watch me break my key. That is a little too far. I'm going to see if I can just crack this loose and see if it'll move back any at all. Oh, it did. Look at that. That's a nice snug fit. There you go, 24 degrees. Now then, see what I mean? Almost put my eye out because I'm watching the camera instead of what I'm supposed to be watching. So now then, this is set to 24. Perfect. So that gives us 24 degrees of advance. So if we set our initial to 12 degrees, give you 36 degrees, 11 degrees, whatever you want. But at this point, you wouldn't check your initial timing anyway. You're just going to put it in the distributor, set your total timing to your happy number, whether it's 34, 5, or 6. Maybe it's 40 degrees. It don't really matter. Set it to where your engine needs. I know that when I download my car, I downloaded it from 30 degrees all the way up to 40. And one way it made more horsepower, and the other way it made a little bit more torque. But it really was only a matter of a few degrees. Oh, sorry, you guys are way up there. Man, my bad. I'm trying to do what I'm doing here and watch what you got going on here. Okay, so that's back in. So that changed it. We had way too much before. Now we're good. Let me, yeah, I'll leave that there. So I want to put the washer back on. Oh, shoot. Smooth move. Let's try that again. Put the washer back in there. And make sure this is down all the way. It is now. And this E-clip. Should be using a pair of needle nose pliers, but I'm going to see if I can just get lucky and push that on there. It'll probably pop out and pop y'all in the eye, or me. Okay, back together, just like that. So we're going to put this plate back on. Well, that's a tight fit too, but oh, there we go. Looky there. And the screws, Allen screws. So that's how you adjust the advance. And no, I didn't put the degree wheel on my distributor machine. I didn't check this before or after. That's not what I'm after today. Today we're just playing with modules. I'm just showing you how you can change the advance on these distributors. You do the same thing with MSD, and MSD comes with springs and little bushings that you change. Mallory, you just had this little slider, which apparently is not a slider, it's a bend tab, which, like I said, it's been a long time since I played with one of these. So I'm going to leave the module off it and the rotor off it because he's got another distributor at his house. But we know now that both these Unilite modules are good. So that rules out that. And we know we have two good modules now, so that's good. Matter of fact, these have dates on them. I just saw that. This module says 10 of 1990. And this module is stamped weird. Let me get a magnifying glass. I'm not blind, but ooh, let's see if I can make it show up in the camera. Wow, 10160. What the crap kind of date is that? Is it 10/16? Because it says 10160. If you guys can see that, but you see that? So anyway, whatever. I don't know, whatever that date says. So yeah, it's two good modules. I'll get the springs back on here in just a second. No big deal. But yeah, that's how we test a module. That's how you adjust the advance on here. And I hope y'all thought this was neat, because this sure did save us a lot of time with playing with the car. Like I say, taking this out of the car and being able to test it here is a good thing, because it eliminates other issues that you can have going on. There's a lot of variables in the car. We can have a wiring issue with the car. We can have a bad coil. We can have a bad ignition box. We could have a loose ground somewhere on that car, but now we know where to go from here. So saves a lot of time. I hope you all thought this was interesting. I thought it was kind of cool, and I'm happy it works. And we'll be back at you with another one here pretty soon. See ya.